To release the QL, the Quadratus Lumborum, I need to put this person in the proper position, and one that I will consider for body mechanics and easy access to the area I want to work on. So first I'll remove the bolster, which I won't need. Ask this person to come up on their side, your left side, and move your back towards me. Very important that you bring the person all the way to the far edge, closest to you while you work. Next thing, I will use a pillow for the head. It's important to keep the neck line with the spine. Make sure that your person's position is stacked, the shoulders. In this case, this is angled, so I'm going to reach under and show them to bring the shoulder back so that one is right over the other. Also check the hips and make sure that those are also stacked, and you can see the table edge and the person is very close to this edge so that I don't have to lean too far over. Next, I'll also put a pillow in the front for their arm to rest against to keep them from drifting forward as I work. I've kept the breast drape on to help preserve modesty and not have to worry too much with the sheet. And this gives me full access to the side here. So the next thing, after I have the person in position, let me move the legs. The bottom one remains 45 degrees, the top is straight, so that there is a bit of a pull so that we can also open up the middle torso here between the ribs and the iliac crest. Since she's listing backwards, I'm just going to ask her to come up a little bit more, yes, so that she can remain in this position. If by chance the listing is still happening, meaning that their body is drifting backwards, then it would be important to address the posterior serratus inferior. That will be tight and causing the inability to sit straight up. Once you release this, doing cross fiber right there at the bottom rib, right at the spine, runs in this direction here, and doing some cross fiber here to it, the person then will be able to go comfortably in that position. Also, the person begins to list forward, bring that pillow up so that they can remain in that position. The goal is to get about 4 fingers distance from the bottom rib, which is right here, and the iliac crest. The bottom rib is here. Be careful with pressure. The floating rib is the last rib. It's only about this long, and you really want to sort of go behind it and below it to do your measurement. So in this case, since the QL is very tight, I don't have much distance here. I probably have from the iliac crest here and the bottom rib, I probably only have about 1 finger distance in between here. So you can do a bit of a stretch, which would be clasping your hands around the top of the iliac crest right here, and then dropping your body into a stretch and pull, and have them take a couple of deep breaths, and then that should give you a little bit more room so that you can access to do the actual trigger point work. So bottom rib again, I've gained some distance. I now probably have 2 fingers. The QL lays directly in the midline here from the iliac crest to the ribs, attached to both. It does come from here to the rib, from here to here, down under the rib. I access 3 points to do some trigger point therapy. One is right in the middle of the top belly of that QL, Quadratus Lumborum, and then the other is just behind the last rib. You will almost feel a bit of a divot right here that you can rest and do trigger point there, a compression, and then also right at the iliac crest, just past the turn, right there. So it ends up looking like a tripod of area. So to start, I will go into this one right on top. And then the second one, I will come in at the iliac crest. And then the third one, I will come in right just below the last rib, right here. It's just a little bit posterior from the midline on the side. And doing so, I'm going to take the point of my elbow and drop it right into the center here in the open space that I have. So that's it. Drop my elbow in here. I like to use a hand here to brace myself and also to move the ribs up just a bit to help me set in. And then I'm going to drop in. So I'm bending my front leg, bending it down and letting my weight just drop in a bit. This can be very painful for someone, so be gentle and patient and move slowly and check in with the person's pain level. Let them know that once they feel intensity or pain, to give themselves a chance to take a couple of deep breaths and help them stay in parasympathetic state and calm so that the fascial system can let go. I want to stay again at a pain level of 3 or 4 and work within that pain zone. So I'm dropping in with my weight, with my elbow point right in the center. And once you feel a little bit of pain, begin to take a deep breath. No deep breath, so I'm going to drop in a little bit more. Now I let the first breath go, but then my ideal is to allow this elbow to allow the muscle to sort of roll backwards. That means the fascias begin to let go and I can drift out the back. And here it's begun to let go. Okay, then I'll reposition. All right, next position is here at the iliac crest, just a little bit off the center posterior. I'm going to drop my elbow in right there, and it feels sort of like it was made for my elbow. And I'm going to let my weight go down, drop down in, and I've already begun to feel the release. It's melting, and my arm is gliding to the back and out of that position. So at this point, I've done 2 of the trigger points. I'm just going to see what sort of change we've already achieved. And I have 3 fingers now at this point. I'm able to get 3 fingers in. My goal is 4. So I'm going to go ahead and do the third position, which is just behind the last rib, just off the center line here on the side. And right there, I can feel sort of a divot there. I'm going to drop my elbow into that position. And again, I place my hand here and give a little bit of a traction, stretch, as I drop in, making sure that I'm not on the rib, I'm just below it. And now I'm beginning to feel it let go. Okay, I like to do a little bit of petrissage in there to allow things to reassimilate. Let some blood get into the area. I'm going to do one more stretch. And now to measure the iliac crest, bottom rib, laying my fingers in here. I have 4 fingers, and that's good.